Hey, what's up? Todd here, and had kind of a disturbing experience about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, something like that. I actually watched someone die right in front of me. I was running on the beach with my girlfriend, and they dragged this body out of the water, and they tried to do CPR, and obviously didn't make it. It was interesting. Obviously, you may say, no big deal, people die all the time, or you may say, like, that's tragic. I guess you could go either way with it. But I found certain things about it really sort of interesting. The first thing was my particular reaction to it and the reaction that other people had as bystanders. It was like very much a rubbernecking kind of curiosity thing. Everybody gathered around, they watched, and then they carted the body off and everybody turned around, went right back to what they were doing, like as though nothing had happened, which kind of makes sense in a way, right? Why let it ruin your vacation? But it really was like really a non-event for almost everyone. There was like the one friend of the guy who was livid and angry and yelling at random people in a way that didn't make sense. But for everyone else who was there, it was just like, run-of-the-mill, happens every day, kind of whatever. Not happens every day. Obviously, they came to look at it, but it wasn't the biggest thing. And it really makes you think that, like, you like to think human beings are very significant. You, especially in the case of your life, you like to think that you are a very significant person. It's hard to even imagine a world where you're not there. Right? It's hard to imagine what the world would be like without you. But one day that'll happen, and you won't have significance to a billion Chinese people, or you won't have significance to people who didn't know you. Your legacy really is, it's not made by virtue of you being here, is what I want to say. It's made by virtue of your actions. And the guy who died today, who knows, might have been a great guy, might have been a bastard. He might have, been totally reckless and it's his own fault, or it might have been a tragic accident that he had no control over. You don't know that. I can't know that. And, maybe it doesn't matter. But it does make you think, and it does let you see that the significance doesn't come just from being you, at least in terms of a legacy way or in terms of a being remembered kind of a way. So for me, in a way, as I was thinking about it, that's kind of inspirational. It's kind of like, look, if I were to die today, what would people say about me? Have I made an impact? Have I made a difference? I like to think that what I'm doing right now is making a difference. I like to think that you watching my videos, learning, growing, maybe taking chances you wouldn't, maybe stepping up in ways that you wouldn't, or maybe being inspired, it does make a difference. I like to think that I left that legacy, and I want to keep doing it. I want to keep adding and growing that legacy. So that's a big part of it. The other thing that really got me thinking is looking at that guy's life. The guy was like 25, maybe 30 years old, just like, British, Australian tourist, probably like a hearty, jolly guy. Was probably, drinking and yelling at girls a few hours ago, who knows? He probably had a life plan. He probably planned to live to 80 and die in a hospital bed somewhere or whatever. And I'm sure he had, savings, and he had a scheduled appointment for next week or next month and all these things. None of that happened. And you look at your life, and I'm sure your life plan involves, living to 80, living to 70, living to 100. It involves getting married, having kids, who knows what. Understand you can't take any of it for granted. It's not guaranteed. So number one, you need to, ensure that it will happen. Take precautions. Another thing that shocked me a little bit was it took, like 5 to 7 minutes before a doctor showed up, before anyone of any official capacity showed up. It was just, random people giving CPR on the beach. And I think it's very easy if you're, white, American, upper middle class, or just, you live in a first world country at all. It's very easy to think that there's someone out there that will protect you. Like you had your parents as a kid, and then you think the authorities will protect you, the police, the government, someone will protect you. But when it comes to it, they're usually, they're there, but they're often not there on time. If you've ever called the police, they show up 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later. Anything really important that's happening, anything really dangerous, that's probably too late. So you really do need to take your own life by the scruff of the neck and say, look, nobody's gonna look out for me but me, right? I have to handle my stuff. I have to be aware. I have to be on top. I have to take responsibility for my own life, because at a certain point, you're the adult, right? You're the adult. There's no grown-ups looking out for you anymore. I mean, you may get lucky, you may get saved, but you can't count on that. You have to be watching your own shit. You have to take precautions. And in a more positive way, if you want to achieve things, you can't count on anybody else to get things done for you. You have to take it by the scruff of the neck in your own life and say, I am responsible for my own life. I'm going to make of my life what it can be. And that's the way I think that you can be remembered. It's also the way that you'll live the most satisfying and fulfilling life. So I guess, for the guy today, maybe this will be a little memento, a little memoir to him. I'm sorry, whoever you were. I hope you had a great life and as full as it could have been in that time that you had. And I hope that your story can inspire some other people to have great lives and maybe even save a life, prevent a tragedy, because somebody will be a little more careful, or maybe it'll help a few people achieve their dreams. So that's me trying to make a difference in my life and trying to put out good things to you.